Have you ever thought about the fact that at any given point in time, you can search and watch the senseless murders of brown and black people all over the United States? You can have a front row seat to the media circus that promotes and glorifies abusive relationships for financial gain, or even genocides and ethnic cleansings of entire nations, all from your smartphone in the palm of your hand. Somehow, after being exposed to all of that, you still feel numb. You still feel nothing, essentially. You feel bad, of course, because all of those things are bad, and it's sad that those things are happening to other people. You're glad those things are not happening to you, but somehow you just can never feel sad enough or mad enough, or maybe you're the type of person that feels so mad and so sad that you let it consume you and you don't allow yourself to feel joy for the little things going on in your life, because there are people all over the world who have it much, much worse than you. And how dare you have it so good? I want to make it very clear that the purpose of this video is to not make you feel bad if you are either of those people, because I too have been one of, if not both, of those people at some point in time. The purpose of this video is to hopefully help you feel seen and to let you know that you are not alone in feeling numb while the world literally is burning down around us. But above all, the purpose of this video is to kind of help you identify and understand what it is that you may be feeling. If anything that I've said thus far in this video has resonated with you in any way, then chances are that what you're feeling is defined as compassion fatigue. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what the hell is that? I'll be sure to put the definition on the screen, but to sum it up, you are just exhausted after over consuming the emotions of the world. Literally, you or myself or anybody else were not meant to constantly consume so much grief and loss and pain and poverty and sorrow in the palms of our hands. Before you go and officially diagnose yourself, you probably want to know, well, what are the signs of compassion fatigue? So, some of the main signs of compassion fatigue involve feelings of powerlessness, feelings of hopelessness, reduced or minimal feelings overall, feeling emotionally disconnected from the world or maybe even your loved ones. And another sign of compassion fatigue is loss of interest in activities and things that you once found great joy and pleasure in. So, I've shown you what the definition of compassion fatigue is. I've given you some examples of signs of compassion fatigue. And if you are still here with me, chances are you have realized that you are, in fact, experiencing some compassion fatigue. And quite frankly, I don't know anybody in this world at this point in time who isn't. So, again, you are not alone. I am right there with you. Chances are your friends, your family, they also feel the same way. They probably just don't know how to put it into words, and maybe you didn't either. And thankfully, this video found its way to you. I think I want to take it back to how it all started and kind of, in my opinion, the main cause of compassion fatigue. And that is going to most certainly be the rise of technology. We were not meant to constantly consume. And with the rise of technology, that is literally all most of us do majority of our day. You wake up, you're on your phone, whether it's for work purposes or leisure purposes, but you're constantly consuming the things that are on your timeline. So when you log on to these apps and you are seeing video after video of violence and injustices and genocides and just pure on evil beyond comprehension, because we all know that there are powers that be and there are people in high places that make the decisions to make these things happen in our world. And we also know that there are people in those very same high places that could very well put an end to a lot of those things happening in our world. But of course, it's not to their benefit, so they won't. And that leaves you in a very uncomfortable place, a place of really having to sit with the fact that the world is not a great place to live right now. And no one realistically that has the power to change that is going to. And that's kind of sad when you think about it in the grander scheme of things. But back to technology, constantly consuming all of the laws and the changes that are happening within the American government is exhausting. Constantly logging on to see all of the money and aid sent to assist other countries who are, I'm sure, in need of it, when you yourself are a citizen of this same country that is writing those checks, and you don't feel like your needs are being met. You don't feel like your government is coming to your rescue, but they're coming to everyone else's. That is a very hard pill to swallow. But if it wasn't for technology, you probably wouldn't know that those laws were being passed. You probably wouldn't know that those checks are being cut to those other countries. So again, it all comes back to our overconsumption of information. Some of this information we really don't need to know. The phrase ignorance is bliss is very true, because unfortunately, once you know, you can't unknow. Once you know that our government is sending funds to fund genocide, you cannot unknow that. So there are going to be times where you wish you didn't, but now you do. So where do you go from here? The rise of technology, I think, has single handedly led in the desensitization of the human race. I can speak for myself personally. I have unfortunately watched videos of the senseless killing of innocent black and brown people time and time again as the videos go viral, not intentionally, but just because I log on, then there it is. Sometimes there's no trigger warning, the video just plays. And it's something about watching these videos that end with a lifeless body that used to really have me spiritually upset and emotionally unwell. But now the videos come up again and again and again and again. With every one, you feel a little less grief, a little less sorrow, and you start to become numb. And that, my friend, is when the compassion fatigue kicks in, because you are tired of constantly having to show compassion for the world that shows you and your loved ones maybe no compassion at all. After a while, your body stops having the same reaction to those videos. You stop feeling your shoulders tense up. You stop clenching your jaw at the sight of a lifeless body on your screen, because it's unfortunately just another one. That right there is when you know that there's a problem. When the sight of death no longer moves you. Can you really say that you're alive? Can you really say that you're living? Now that we've talked about what it is, what causes it, you're probably wondering, how do you cure it? How can you fix it? How can you start to feel hopeful again? How can you take power over your own emotions and your own amount of compassion? And I think that the very first step would be regular dopamine detoxes. So I'm not talking about just logging out. I'm talking about maybe deleting the apps. I'm talking about just quieting the noise and the distraction so you can get right with yourself and within, so that you can really tap into your feelings, to your compassion, and to everything that you have going on. And you get to really decipher if the feelings that you're feeling, are they yours? Because sometimes you can very well just be taking on the feelings and emotions of the world, because the world is in an uproar. So you feel like spiritually or emotionally you need to be in an uproar just because it's kind of the state of the world. But what happens if you have good things going on? You can't stop yourself from feeling excited because of what's going on. Perfect example, if you're new here and don't know, I am a licensed realtor here in the state of South Carolina. And 3 days ago, I closed the biggest real estate transaction of my career thus far. And I couldn't even allow myself to celebrate myself or to really feel accomplished, because all I could think about was the fact that there are moms that are burying their children in Palestine, that there are moms in Congo whose children are sold into modern day slavery. And I really had to take a step out of all of those emotions and really just focus and isolate myself on my feelings and my current situation, and allowing myself to feel good about the progress that I've made, regardless of how little progress the world has made. I think it's important to remember that social media is literally a drug. It is scientifically classified as such, which is how you get those dopamine hits. We all are literally addicted. The likes, the engagements, equivalent to drugs in your vein. So the only way to really purge yourself is to detox completely and on a frequent basis. So whether that's once a quarter, once a month, just go a week without all of it, without any of it, and find joy in your hobbies and your dreams and your passions. Do you have any hobbies? When's the last time you did something just for fun, just to feel good, that didn't involve making someone else feel bad? If this video was at all helpful to you, which I hope it was, I hope you will stick around and join my tribe as I build a community of self-aware, spiritually aware, like-minded people that are just doing the best with what they have. And if you like videos like this and kind of just conversations like this, then you might love my podcast, The Melanated Mindset. You can listen to it on all major streaming apps. And season 5 is very quickly about to be dropped. So I hope to see you there. And if you like the vibes, you know where to find me in my next video. And welcome to the tribe.
Fuck 'em all, that my tribe. Yeah, yeah, that my tribe. Yeah, yeah, that my tribe.